inside of the Hall of Fame room. We are very happy to be here with you. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, on site, on location. You know that Pacer Pride is a piece of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every Friday right around 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Both of these gentlemen have been featured on that. John Butash, the Marywood softball head coach, and Jason Thiel, the Marywood baseball head coach. Of course, myself, Dan Tortora, a proud alum of Marywood University, circa 2007. So happy to be here on campus as always. Always happy to be the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of Marywood University and these Pacers through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and my company, Dan Tortora Broadcast Media. So with that being said, success on the field has come from both of these gentlemen. At the time that we're talking here, 26-7 and in the heat of the AEC playoffs. And then I can't forget this because it's my grandfather's number and my number show up together all the time. 21 and Pop 13. 21 and 13 and more to go here in the regular season with Immaculata before there's more life for baseball. So gentlemen, welcome to the broadcast.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Dan. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, I want to just hop into it. John, I'll start with you. I mean, this has been a fantastic season. What can you tell us about where this season ranks in the world of Marywood softball? 26-7, more to go here, more life to be had, and a continuation in the AEC playoffs. Is this going down potentially as one of the best or the best season up to this point?
It has to be one of the best seasons we've had. Obviously, since I've been around the program since 2011.
Yeah.
First as a parent, and then as an assistant coach in 2014 when we won the CSAC at that time, and we were in the NCAA tournament. And from what I'm hearing from our sports information staff is that we may have to go back 30 years to see a record this strong in terms of winning percentage.
Yeah, I mean, this has been fantastic. You and I got to talk going into the season, and we were speaking about, you know, you being able to coach one of your daughters, and like you spoke about the CSAC and everything there. You got to be a part of that. Now as a head coach, you're looking to make new history. Like you said, maybe a better record, better win percentage than anything we've seen in 3 decades. As we step forward here, you have the opportunity of winning the Atlantic East, which could send us back to the nation's tournament. There's a lot of beauty in that, and now you get to do that as a head coach. I know you're a humble guy, but I'm going to say I'm very happy that John Butash is at Marywood University.
Thanks for saying that, Dan. It's really a team effort, starting with Nikki Malloy, who was an associate athletic director here, former softball player, former softball assistant coach, and she does a lot of the work in the background that we don't, you know, the players, the student athletes don't really see.
Yeah.
She does a lot of work for us. And then obviously my assistant coaches, who are really, really strong and know the game of softball and have added so much. We had Brian Serafinko's been with me now. This is my 4th year. He came on when I became the head coach. And John DiMatteo was added this year. And they both bring so much to the table. They're both softball geeks, if you will. John is a technician of hitting. Brian calls my pitches during the games, and we have a really good mix with the assistant coaches and myself. We all add something to the table. It takes a village, as they say. It's not me. It's just a group effort with the staff that I have around me.
And you do a fantastic job, John, so give a little bit of credit to yourself.
Thanks, Dan.
You're welcome. Jason, I believe we're on pace here at Marywood to have the best record ever for baseball. Is that where we're at? We're close?
Yeah, we're close. So program record is 22 total wins. So we're at 21. We have 3 games with Immaculata left this weekend, and then we're still trying to get a non-conference game during the week if we can, but just to sort of get us a little bit more fresh before conference play starts again. So yeah, we've had a fantastic year. Obviously, we're 4th or 5th in the conference right now when it comes to seeding. So this is a big weekend for us. Obviously, we want to be better in the conference. We lost a couple games late that come back to bite us a little bit, but overall, I mean, our guys, they've had a fantastic year.
21-13. I'm proud of that, and like I said, it's my number 21. My Pop Cavino's 13. I want you to finish off. Well, if you get that non-conference game, then we're talking about 4 more games in the regular season. So I want you to have 25-13 as we step forward. But I'm going to milk 21-13 for a moment here. How'd you get there?
It goes into the fall. and these guys really buying into what we want to do, what kind of year we want to have, guys holding each other accountable, working hard, showing up every day, not taking, a game for granted. Having obviously some veterans come back, which was great. Like Coach Butash said, assistant coaches are everything. So it is a team and a family atmosphere. We all pull the same side of the rope, which is nice. And this is the closest knit team. This is the most fun I've had since 2016, since I officially really took over the program. We still have a great group of kids, great group of parents, good support. So it's been a great year, and obviously it helps getting off to a good start. We tied the record for most consecutive wins. I think we were at 9 during the season. So that obviously helps propel you a little bit to get to where you want to get to. So yeah, starting off strong was a big key for us.
You're both having these amazing seasons, but you have unique ways that you came into being a head coach. Jason, you're only the 3rd head coach in Marywood baseball history, and the original head coach, the assistant takes over, and then you come in. So it's all in the family because you played for that staff. So what's that been like for you to, I know we talked about it when we were in this room a few months ago, but to not only have the season you're having, but to have the season you're having knowing that you're only the 3rd head coach in the history of Marywood? Yeah,
it's pretty cool. It's when I first took over the program in the middle of 2016, I don't think it hit me yet, that you actually run the show a little bit. Because the guys that were the head coaches before me were my coaches. So, you just try to take what you can from everybody, especially from them, and try to build it from there and, try to recruit and bring in your type of guys. And we've done that. And, it's exciting. It's exciting to see, where we can go with this. So to be a 3rd head coach is pretty cool. It's something that I obviously I played here a long time ago, 1999, 2000 were my 2 years here. So I always wanted to come back and get involved here. So I volunteered in that kind of way. So it's nice to take over the program, and it's awesome because we've had so many alums, staff, former coaches, former staff, administration reach out, just given I guess appreciation, thanks for the year, thanks for what you're doing there. You guys are having a great year, so it's pretty neat for all the alum to still be watching it and see what's going on. So it drives us in that way as well.
Yeah, I think it's cool and ironic that I was here from 2003 to 2007, so we just missed each other.
Yeah, we did.
And now we get to hang out here and do the show together. John, you had an awesome, kind of unique story too. You were coming here as an assistant, and you were taking over as an assistant, be a part of this program, and then all of a sudden you fill in, and then you become the head coach. I mean, you had a unique kind of well, do you want the job? Because here it is. So, I mean, can you speak to that, your own uniqueness of becoming a head coach here at Marywood?
Well, Dan, I started out as a parent. My daughter, Diana, played.
Yeah.
She arrived here in 2011. So I was a parent but involved. I would help in Florida. I would drive a van for the team. And very, very supportive, never miss a game. Even the road games, I would go to the games with my wife, Donna. And then in 2014, the assistant coach, to really the legendary Bob Fitzsimmons, was the head coach here for many years. His assistant retired, and I put in for it. And fortunately, Dr. Gunning gave me an opportunity. And so I was an assistant coach. And my first year was 2014, my daughter's senior year, and that's the year we won the CSAC and went to the NCAA tournament. So it's like a storybook for us, for the family, because it was like a great experience. And then assistant coach for 3.5 years or so. And then when Coach Bob retired, I again put in for the head coaching job, and again was fortunate enough to be hired as the head coach. So it's like a dream come true. We're very strong on Marywood in my family. Yeah. 3 of my 4 daughters went to Marywood. My wife went to Marywood, and I did my graduate work here at Marywood. So we are Marywood proud, and always have been, and always will be.
And I love that piece of it. Is that you're a parent supporting your family, and then you're an assistant coach, and then you're a head coach, and you go from driving the bus to, figuratively driving the bus as the head coach. I mean, that's really a fun story to tell. It's really an amazing story to tell, to look back on this and say, I'm a parent that was willing to go the extra mile and volunteer my time and do whatever I could because we were going to be there anyways. Then I say, oh, you know what? I'll put in for the assistant. I like to be a part of it. And then you put in for the head coaching job. And like you said, you follow the legendary Coach Fitzsimmons. But with all due respect, you're having a legendary time yourself. So from being the bus driver to being the driver of the bus, I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yes, it's really, I'm just loving every minute of it, every moment of it. The first year was, a transition year.
Yeah.
And then then COVID came along. So we only had Florida 2 years ago. Last year we didn't have Florida, and we had basically, half of the season. And now this year, in general, it's almost like a full season, although weather has played havoc with some of our games. We haven't been able to play all our games. But yeah, it's been great. We have some great student athletes on the team, and they've really, the moment is here, and they've just done very well all through the year. We've had many successes throughout the year, and many close games, and we've been doing the little things right, which has led us to where we are right now.
You're in the thick of the Atlantic East playoffs. Bring me into the games that you've won and what is set ahead of you, just how you've seen the team compete at the most crucial time right now.
Well, one thing I'll say is, I look back now, the first 2 years I coached as the head coach, we were 2-7 in one-run games. And in the last 2 years, we are 11-1 in one-run games, which means we're doing the little things right. We're bunting the runner over. We're hitting that sacrifice fly if that's all we needed. We put the ball in play. And that's the main thing I see in the last couple of years, and this year especially. Also, our league, our conference, the Atlantic East, is a strong softball conference. It really is. When we broke out of the CSAC, in softball, basically the six strongest teams in the CSAC all moved on to the Atlantic East. Yeah. And so it was there's no easy game, easy team in the conference. And where we are now is we just got through the first weekend of what they call pod play, and we won our 3 games, and Cabrini won their 3 in the other pod. So we will be facing Cabrini this coming weekend for the championship in a 2 out of 3. During the season, we played them. We split the doubleheader. They beat us 5-3 in the first game of the doubleheader, and then we beat them 3-2. So we're looking at it as an even match. We're really, we match up well against each other, and we're really looking forward to seeing how it comes out. But we have a whole week ahead of us of practice, along with the fact that this week is exam week. Yeah. And so there's a lot going on. Yeah. And we do have our priorities in order, and we're not practicing today. It's yesterday and today are days to, recharge the batteries on the softball part of it, but also study, get ready for your exams, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, and this is, and you're the number 1 seed, right? I mean, are you going to be hosting? So
yeah, we're the number 1 seed. The split with Cabrini was our only loss in the conference.
Yeah. So not only is it best 2 out of 3, but Cabrini is going to come here to Marywood University.
Yes.
So, I don't trash talk, because when I trash talk, it gets better. Like if I'm playing horse in basketball and I trash talk and I have no letters, I'll have HORS, because that's how quick God works. So I'm not going to trash talk anything. I'm just going to say that I'm looking forward to being home for this piece of the wonderful Atlantic East playoffs, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you can do this weekend. And I'm very hopeful. I'm just going to say, if I'm betting on a horse, I'm betting on John Butash. That's what I'm doing.
Thanks a lot. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
You shouldn't really bet on me, because who knows?
I'm betting.
We're not a bet. It's NCAA. No betting allowed.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what I mean.
I know.
You know what I mean. I'm back in the right horse, is what I'm saying.
Thank you, Dan.
Like literally a pacer. It's right here. So, Jason, for you have, like you said, you have Immaculata coming up to wrap up what we have for this regular season. You have 1 game at home, and then 2 on the road against Immaculata all this weekend. And I believe you've won the last 3 in a row. So what can you say about this contest with Immaculata? And then secondly, I know you talked about trying to get a non-conference. Why is it important for you to try and get another game in?
Yeah, first of all, Immaculata, they're the number 1 seed right now, if the tournament were to start today. So they're having a really good year. They're very strong on the mound. They got some veterans in some key spots, so they're a very, very good ball club. We know, we'll have our hands full, whether it's Friday, Saturday, Thursday, Saturday, whenever with the weather we play. But we got to go and take care of business. We gotta win 3 games there and get a little bit of help. But with the way that we've been playing, we're confident. Obviously, 1 game at a time that we can do that. And it's important to get another game in. We did play Saturday. We had senior day. We won 2 games on Saturday at home, which was nice. But to have a whole week off and not see live pitching, our guys sort of said, hey, can we try to get 1 more game in, just to get a little bit hitting wise before conference play starts up again. So this was our off weekend in the conference. So we were lucky enough to find St. Joseph Brooklyn to come in and play here for senior day. And then they played 6 games in a weekend. So we thank them for coming in and obviously having a crazy weekend so we could have a senior day and promote our seniors a little bit. But yeah, hopefully Wednesday we can get a game in. If not, then obviously we'll roll into Immaculata. We'll be ready to go. We'll practice all week, and we know what's at stake.
Who's on that list when you're trying to schedule a game in season? Are you just going to try and keep it local, or how do you look at it?
Yeah, honestly, I've probably reached out to 25 schools over the last week and a half, 2 weeks, and once you start to lose a couple of games because of the weather, you sort of scramble, try to find some teams. So, like Coach said, it is finals week for a lot of schools. So a lot of schools cannot play or didn't want to play. A lot of conferences ended on Sunday. So teams aren't going to play this week. So I've heard back from a couple of guys. So we'll see what happens going forward. Hopefully we get a game in. If not, then we'll wait to be ready to go on Thursday or Friday.
So where do we stand here? Now you said you're around 4th or 5th in the conference right now.
Yeah.
So is this Immaculata a 3-game series? Is this going to decide for you? What is this going to decide for you as far as postseason goes?
This is everything. So we're a game behind the 4th place club right now, but they hold the tiebreaker. So we got to go take care of business and get a little bit of help. So it is what it is. We early on in the year we were 5-4 in the conference, but we felt like we let a couple games get away, especially late, where we could have been 7-1, 6-2 in that range, at sometimes 6-3, and in this conference, you let a couple games get away, it may come back to bite you a little bit later. So we're hoping it doesn't happen. So that's been the whole season. We at one point we lost. We were 19-9, and our 9 losses were by 11 runs. So a hit here or there, starting in Florida, we lost a bunch of 1-run games, coming back 1-run games. So we felt like if we hit early on, that record, we could be looking at a whole different season right now.
John spoke about it, and for those of you tuning in here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, we are on site on location at Marywood University. Every Friday we bring you new editions of Pacer Pride exclusively on Wake Up Call, and those are with the administration, student athletes, and coaches here at Marywood University. Today we're doing an extension of Pacer Pride and giving you even more content with the entire Wake Up Call broadcast dedicated to Marywood University inside of our multimedia marketing partnership, which is exclusive to Wake Up Call and Dan Tortora Broadcast Media. John Butash, the Marywood softball head coach, and Jason Thiel, the Marywood baseball head coach, and of course myself, Dan Tortora, inside of the Hall of Fame room. John, you spoke about the fact that you were doing the little things in 1-run games to do what you needed to do to be the difference. You just heard Jason talk about losing 9 games by 11 runs, so a lot of those, small margins of error and small pieces of separation. What advice could you give to Jason about games like that since you had success there?
I don't know if I can give Jason any advice. He's a very strong head coach. I think it's more just about execution. Sometimes, we put a lot on our student athletes. We practice, we drill, we do all those things, and basically just may come down to 1 bunt or one at bat, and it's nothing against the student athlete. They don't come through. This year's been a year where things have worked for us. We've been able to make those plays. We've been able to get that bunt down. I wouldn't give Jason any advice. He's strong at what he does.
No, he's right. It is those little things. I know early on we had we played a team in Florida, and we had bases loaded, nobody out, down 1. And you hit a line drive at third, you get a pop up, and you lose a game. So. Yeah. And then we've won some games, that maybe we came up with a big hit. So through the course of the year, especially a 40-game schedule, you'll go through everything, the ups and the downs. It's about, pushing through, maintaining. But yeah, early on, we were playing well. but we felt like if we were hitting the way we could have been hitting early on in games, those little things wouldn't have mattered as much.
When you look at that, and you look at those, like you said, I mean, you have bases loaded, you have no outs, then all of a sudden, you drill one, that leads to an out, you got two pop-ups. How do you address that? Because to the average fan watching a baseball game or a softball game, they think, okay, well, you train, you do everything you can, but then, the way you hit it in the moment, it's out of your hands, it's kind of left to chance. Do you think it's left to chance? And Jason, I want to go with you to this first. How do you address those pieces? Is it a game of luck at a certain point in the game, or is there a way to look at those games and say, okay, you know what, the way that we're hitting the ball, it's not where I want you to place it. It's not where I want the bat to be. How do you find those little tiny pieces that can change it for you? How much of it is luck? How much of it is chance? And then how much of it is saying, you know what, we're going to go back and we can train to be better than that?
I think with all those little things, and you lose games by running too late, it really is not the fault of the last inning. It's the 7 or 8 or 9 innings before that, that really came into play. So if you got the runner over in the second inning, if you got the big hit, the bases loaded in the third inning, instead of it's 1-0, now it's 4-0. That's where those little things come into play. It's not so much the line drive at third base in the 9th inning down a run. That could have cleared the bases if it was a foot to the left. It's the earlier innings that you could have did some damage or moved guys over. So and not have obviously that stress of you only have one going to the 9th. So yeah, and we have conversations with guys about intensity, about every inning matters, and coach can attest to this too. It's everything does matter. You only play so many games, especially in conference. You only get so many opportunities. So the more innings you let waste, it will come back to bite you a little bit. So it's definitely a teaching tool for our guys.
Yeah.
We've learned it hard this year as well.
Yeah, and I think when it comes down to it, I mean, do you, when you are putting yourself in that position in the 9th and you need that one run, have you seen your team be poised? Are there certain guys where you have to kind of tell them like, hey, you don't need to swing at that? Because how much of when you're watching your team itself, how much of the teams, I mean, does the energy change? Do you get the sense of urgency? Do you have to kind of tell them like, hey, yes, we dug this hole, but don't go after everything? Yeah. Like, how do you teach in that moment, being there in the dugout and saying, listen, like, I know we need the run, but I can't, unless you see that, sweet pitch come right down the middle waiting for you, like, let's just continue to keep a good eye on the ball, because I can imagine the sense of urgency will cause some of the guys to maybe get after it or try to, crank one right at the top of it instead of waiting for their pitch.
Yeah, you have those conversations, obviously, in between the innings, leading up to the inning. You find out, obviously, if it's a reliever, who's coming in, what are they throwing, what's their K to walk ratio per innings, where they're at, throwing balls, throwing strikes, who you can work, who you can steal off of, those type of things. So, that all comes into play with assistant coaches and knowing your conference and knowing your guys a little bit. But when it comes to, the last innings or big situations, I think as a head coach, you're a bit of like a therapist as well. You need to know like what motivates each individual and what doesn't.
Yeah.
So maybe having a side conversation, going up to the plate, maybe calling a timeout, and seeing if you get talk to your hitter a little bit, calm them down a little bit, or refocus them, those type of things. So there are little things that we could do. I know we had a player who is having a pretty good year. He's a senior, but he was struggling with the big hit, and he was struggling to get it. And he was, after games, he has head down. He was really struggling a little bit. Baseball will do that to you, and softball too. And we played Karen the other day, and they came back in the 9th to tie it. And it was cold. It was snowing. It was getting dark. And this player came up with the game on the line. Pulled him aside and said, "Listen, like there's nobody nobody better that we want in the situation than you right now, right here." So I said, take a deep breath, focus. I want you up at this. I want you here right now. So, and he came through. He got a hit. And not saying that helps, but as a player, you sort of want to know that obviously your coach has your back, your team has your back. You can relax, take a deep breath. It's not the end of the world. Those type of things. You can put a lot of pressure on your shoulders.
Yeah, no, you definitely kind of feel that. And John, for you, when you've won, like you said, 2-7, and 1-run games, and now 11-1. What things were happening on this team that were translating so drastically from a losing record to a substantial winning record when it comes to tight circumstances?
Well, we put big emphasis in preseason on bunting. I mean, we always did our bunting drills, but we did in probably 3 times as many bunting drills, knowing that, and looking back and knowing that we had lost so many 1-run games and that we needed to be better at that. We also had, team meetings where we talk about situational hitting and what was important when you had a runner on second and nobody out, or a runner on third and 1 out, and what your approach should be at the plate, as opposed to just going up there and just hitting the ball or trying to hit the ball, but having a solid approach. We do have a veteran team, so that helps also, because you've been through the mill, been through everything the last few years, and so the game slows down for the veterans. They have a better sense. They don't get overly hyped up when they're at bat in a big spot. They've been there before. Even our freshmen that now at this point in the season, you just get to the point where now the game has slowed down for them also, because it can be overwhelming at times when you're first starting out as a freshman, playing in solid big games, playing in Florida, all that stuff. So at this point in the season, there's always going to be a little bit of butterflies. Just playing the game. We all played the games. We all played sports. We know that you still have that anxiousness at times, but they settled in. They've settled in, and things have worked out very well for us so far.
How do you manage emotions, especially in a game?
I think I could be wrong, but studies have shown basically that it's a little more challenging with the female athlete in terms like male athletes sometimes have to have the emotion to really be at their best. Where studies have shown that with female athletes, you want to try to control the emotion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't need to be all hyped up about that. They have to be controlled to succeed at a higher level. So if that's difference between, I believe, male and female athletes, there is something to that. Well, we try to create a good atmosphere in the dugout on the practice field pre-game. We want to be in there, have them at their best when the game starts. So we kind of try to set the mood, if you will, so they can succeed.
Getting a pitcher to calm themselves when they've given something up, when a game is, maybe you're up 3-0, now all of a sudden it's 4-3. What is it makes me think of, see, I'm a Marvel fan, so it makes me think of when Black Widow would go to Hulk and she would say, "Sun's going down, big guy." She'd turn his hand over and put her hand on his hand, and it would calm him down. How do you deal with, John, I want to start with you here, to go to the mound and to say, hey, what's the art of, okay, you know what, this pitcher's giving up too much, their head's not in the game, we need to make a change, or I know they're okay, I know they're going to be all right, I know they can course correct, so I'm going to let it go through. How do you manage when it's time and when it's not time, essentially, because things happen, but some pitchers can course correct, and other pitchers, as good as they may be, maybe on that day, they're out of it.
Right. Well, I'm bringing up our pitchers. I just like to say that we have 2 outstanding pitchers. I mean, Marham, a sophomore, is having a record-setting season. She's 14-2. Her earned run average in the conference is under 1 per game. It's like 0.85 or something. It's record-setting. She's been, she's phenomenal. She had a great high school career. She played a lot of travel ball. She's a PA major, so she's got that on her plate. And she has a 4.0, which I will add because we're very proud of that part of it. And Gianna Marsico is my second, so-called second pitcher, let's say 1A.
Yeah.
And she's won 11 games as our second pitcher, so 11-5. And in the conference, no one has a so-called second pitcher like we do. And that's one of the reasons we have such success. They've been healthy.
Yeah.
I can count on them. And so we talk about going to the mound. They are both veterans of many, many softball games.
Yeah.
So when I go to the mound, we call the infield in,
Yeah.
And basically, we talk about the fact that what just happened is done. Where do we go from here?
Yeah.
And it's a question of looking everybody in the eye, looking at the infielders in the eye, and saying, we need one of you to make a play now. When the ball's hit, let's make a play. Maybe we're in a situation where there's nobody out and they scored a couple runs. I said, let's get that first out. Once we get that first out, things will start falling our way.
Yeah.
So we don't dwell on what just happened, but more that kind of thing. And actually, with our veteran pitchers, just to give them a breath. I'm not going to go out there and have words of wisdom for 2 veteran pitchers that are really on top of their game. But basically, just let's take a breath. Let's just take a little break here. What's our plan? Run around first. Let's be ready for the bunt, whatever it might be. And that, again, that's the way I would look at it.
No, and I think that's great. Like to say, hey, we're going to get together, and it's not just you. It's not just 2 people. Let's bring the whole infield in. Let's talk about it. It's a team. We need somebody to make one play. You're having that moment with everybody, right? It's not you're yelling at one of your kids in front of the whole family. You're talking to the whole family together, which breeds success, in my opinion. Jason, we live in a world, you and I have talked about baseball before, where it's like some teams are like, okay, this guy didn't work, this guy didn't get they bring this guy. Okay, we're going to bring this guy. And baseball's changed a bit too at the major league level, because some teams wanted to say, okay, lefty for a lefty, we're going to do this for that. They're trying to, if they have it in the bullpen, they're going to use it, and they might use the same guy repeatedly, in a week, but just at certain points, at certain instances. How do you deal with the art of the mound, and when it's right and when it's not, when you know that your guy's got it, he just needs to calm down, or when you're like, hey, you know what? Take a break. Let's bring somebody else out.
Yeah, I think obviously it's knowing your guys, knowing the individual to the course of the year. Where he's at, what he's been through, where is at pitch count wise. How many of those pitches were stress pitches? How many guys are on base, or is he cruising? And this is sort of his first tough inning. So pitch count is big with us as well. We don't like to overuse guys, just in the starting end of things. So we also have veteran staff. We led the conference in ERA for a long time. Nick Nateri and Joe Bruno and Michael Aronica, they've been really our conference guys, and they've kept us in just about 99% of our games. So those Mound conferences, a lot of those guys is like Coach said, bringing the infield in and letting them know, you don't have to do this on your own. You got guys back here. What's the situation? Here's where we're at. Sometimes the pitcher's like, hey, I'm fine. But we know this may be his last guy, so it's just like, hey, just give everything you got for this one last guy. We'll get you out of here. You've done your job, in a way. So, and for us, we've had a couple of 7th, 8th, 9th inning guys that we've relied on to the course of the year that have done a great job for us. Matthew Klippel, Tyler Quick, A.J. Jordan, to name a few. They've really helped us in that back end. Tyler set the saves record. Matt Klippel has come in and just dominated hitters in the mound at times. So. To have that back end, to know that, hey, if we hand it over to these guys, we get a chance of closing this out, it helps our guys, our starters as well, know that they don't have to do everything on their own.
If a guy's having a really, really good game and you're looking to bring in a closer, how hard is it to get somebody off the mound that's like, no, just let me finish it? Because we see it in the majors all the time, where fans will always talk about, well, they should have left the guy in, and then the pitcher's going, no, I'm okay, I'd rather just get the win, but there could be history on the line. How do you manage that when a pitcher's like, listen, I'm almost to the end of this game. Nobody's scored on me, I just want to keep it. How hard is it for you to say, yeah, we want you to set this record, or we want you to have this game, or we want you to have this statistic, but I need you to be healthy in 3 days. You know what I mean? How do you manage that?
Yeah, they all want to stay in. The competitor in them doesn't want to come out. So those conversations when they come off the mound after, let's say, the 8th inning, and they're close pitch count wise, and you can see they're running the gas a little bit, but they want it. It's that honest conversation of knowing your guys and having faith in them to say, hey, we're going to give it to you, but we have somebody that's hot in the bullpen just in case they're coming in. So I'll give you a hitter or two. I trust you, so, and then obviously guys want it, but you have to know what's better for them as well. You've already thrown 111 pitches. You've given us everything you can give us. We we don't want to now put this on you. You've done everything you could possibly do for us. So now it's up to us to really either separate or go close it out for you. So you don't want to spoil a great outing either by, pushing a guy too much. So there is a fine line there. Justin Haddix, one of our pitching coaches, Ricky Clifford, Joe Diskin, my assistant coaches, we sort of all know our guys. They've done a great job of knowing where we're at. We obviously have conversations with Justin, Coach Haddix, about, where guys should be and what he thinks. So, yeah, I mean, our pitching staff has really, they've shined this year. They kept us in every single game. It's been a huge turnaround from where we've been pitching-wise. We're getting consistent effort on the mound every single day, and we're proud of that.
That coming from Jason Thiel, the Marywood baseball head coach, John Butash, the Marywood softball head coach, and myself, Dan Tortora, proud Marywood alum, here in the Hall of Fame room for a Pacer Pride takeover of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. John, you and I spoke when baseball was on hiatus, when Major League Baseball, didn't know where they were going. And you said, there's a lot of great softball going on out there, and thankfully, over the years, it's gotten onto television. For a certain amount of time, Major League Baseball helped softball by not competing, by fighting for the collective bargaining agreement. So on your side of it, there was a benefit that if people wanted to watch the good old game of seeing somebody up on the mound and seeing somebody try to hit and, seeing the fielders out there and whatnot, that the game of softball has its beauty, it has its nuances, it has what makes it different, but at the same time, it can give you that nostalgia that somebody might be looking for, so that some baseball fans could translate over, at least for a few weeks. I know baseball's in full swing right now for Major League Baseball, but what did you think we got from that time period where a negative turned into a positive for softball?
Well, softball really has, we've talked before, it blossomed. I mean, it's really a good TV sport.
Yeah.
It's a sport
Fun to
that,
watch.
Softball game, you were talking an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 45 minutes, so you sit down to watch a game.
Yeah.
I'm a baseball guy. I love baseball, played baseball, big Yankee fan. But a baseball game in major leagues, now you're talking 3.5 hours for a game. Yeah, I mean, and the fanatic will sit and watch, but the casual fan is not going to sit there and watch. So softball is a quicker game. Softball is, and it had that, like you said, that there was that time early on in the end of March, first week of April, where there were probably 4 or 5 games on a day of softball on ESPN, on the different networks, and it just continues to, like I said, it's growing, and it's so popular. I actually have 11 freshmen coming in next year. They just love softball. I've recruited, and they're all coming. So they love the game. They want to keep playing. We've had success here, and number one though is they love the university, our university here. When they take the tour, if everything else works out, the tour itself sells the place.
Yeah.
And so it's on a high right now, softball.
Yeah, and I love it. And when I went to school here at Marywood, I took a coaching class, and for in the field of work, so to speak, they chose 2 sports for us, and we had to play softball, learn softball, and then play basketball. And I played basketball all my life. So we went in, and we're in the gym, and we're playing in the old gym and whatnot. And the other people in the class are like, "How do you know how to do this? You could shoot both hands. You could do this. You could do." I was like, "Because I've been playing since I was handing basketball when I was 3." But the softball side of it, I got so I needed to hit it. I was like, I need to just hit it and see it in the air and just knock it. And people having to play the game and having to have to learn the game. And shout out to my teacher who had retired when actually my graduation year of 2007. But learning the game just really started to respect and appreciate the fact that it's not the easiest thing to do in the world. And it is because people joke, they're like, well, the ball's bigger, it's easier to hit. I'm like, no, that's not true. And seeing how the pitches come in, too. And people that could learn, as we were going through this class, learn the different styles of it and how to keep it up in the air for a long time. You would think it would torture you, because you would see it and go, oh yeah, I'm going to be ready for that because that's coming into me, and the way it's coming in, I know. And then you could swing and totally miss it. So, I think the game of softball is not only fun to watch, but when you've never played it and you're thrown into it, it really is a lot tougher than people think. And I have become a fan of the pitching of it. And I've gotten kind of spoiled with some people that I've gotten to meet over the years that have just been really fun watching pitching-wise. And they've talked about, some of the women on the mound that, you put them in the baseball world, stuff like that. Like, you throw them up against some of the, baseball guys out there, and she'll make you mess up. She'll make you look foolish. So I think the game is it's fun. And it was really fun here at Marywood to play it. And I could probably tell you, I don't know more times where I wanted to hit something so bad than in that moment.
And I'll attest to Coach. I mean, my daughter obviously grew up playing softball as well. But my son, there's nothing, he's tournaments on TV, college games on TV, he's watching that over Major League Baseball anytime. It's fun, it's exciting. Like I said, it's an hour and a half. They're throwing strikes. The athleticism is awesome to see. So, yeah, if there's a game on, I'm watching it. Obviously, it's great to see that they're getting more and more exposure. My daughter was in that realm for a while too. So, yeah, now with all the travel leagues and everything, it's just it's 12 months out of the year now, which is great for those girls who are really into it. Yeah,
it's been incredible, and on the other side of it, as John and I were like, hey, good for softball that baseball's fighting. Obviously in the baseball world, and you being a fan too, there's that side of it of saying, okay, well, this is frustrating, right? Because there is the opportunity, Division 1, 2, 3, JUCO and whatnot. There's always a chance in the farm system that somebody could find a way into Major League Baseball. And so when Major Leagues goes on hiatus, it can hit Marywood quick, it can hit this community, it can hit anybody in a certain kind of way. So how did you deal with baseball? Because Papa Joe, who is like another father figure to me, he's on the show every Thursday from 9 to 10 a.m. Huge baseball fan. He's got the ticket. He'll watch all the games, and he loves Mike Trout. So he loves the opportunity now to watch people all over the country. And we were discussing the stoppage. Ross Turetsky, who played here, we were discussing that as well. Two avid fans, and Papa Joe was saying, listen, I'm going to watch it no matter when it comes back, I'm going to watch it. Ross never thought I'd hear this in a million years. He goes, as much as I love the game, the longer that they do this, I'm upset now. This isn't okay with it. And not that either one of them thought it was okay, but we talked about it, and then we actually got to speak on a Thursday when baseball returned, and we got to speak on the Thursday that was supposed to return, so it was ironic to have Papa Joe for that. How did you handle, the collective bargaining agreement, and in most cases, the reality that the minor league is where the story needs to be of not having good living conditions, not making enough money, but in the major leagues, the billion-dollar owners fighting with the million-dollar players seem to be a moot point, yet it took a little bit of time for them to figure out life. Thankfully, it was only a week late when all came, when push came to shove, it was only a week's time from the 30th to April 7th, which we can deal with that. But it seemed like at one point this was going to be a really long, fought-out game between the millions and the billion-dollar holders in baseball.
Yeah, I think it takes away the purity of the game, for sure. But like most guys that I know, a lot of our players, once it came back, you're watching. You're pretty much you're locked in. You're ready to go. You almost knew it was coming, the stoppage. So in the back of your mind, you knew, okay, it's going to stop, and hopefully they figure it out pretty soon. But it does take away the purity of it, the little things, the love of it in a way. Absolutely, more commercialized. Money. So it takes that away. Obviously, the minor league system is, a lot of that is pure baseball, and we sort of equate to that too. We're like a minor league team ourselves. We're in the road, we're in vans, we're in buses, we're driving from city to city, getting back late at night, waking up, doing the whole thing over again. Eating fast food, those type of things, having people bring you food, so getting home and late, and then not getting maybe the sleep you should get, and go right back at it again. So. That's the purity of the game. It's always been that way up through the single A, up to the rookie leagues, Arizona fall ball, those type of things, all the way up to AAA. But yeah, it does ruin the purity when you have billionaires, fighting with millionaires, and then you try to bring your kids to the game, and now you can't afford it. And that's a lot. Well, we gotta go to a game, and it's $300. To go see a baseball game. It comes back on us, like it always does. So. It's just they get hurt in that way of it. They should probably see that a little more.
Well, and I did a thing with the average ticket, or the average ticket to bring a family, and I was happy. I'm a Diamondback fan, so the cheapest game to go to for like a family of four was it was like $177 or something like that for a Diamondback game. But you see, I think the Mets and the Nationals might have let in beer, and certain teams leading in hot dog prices and whatnot. But I mean, you're looking at some of the, like an average ticket, and I think it was like within the median of the league, that if you brought a family of four, it was at least 300 something bucks. That doesn't count travel. That doesn't count, are you renting a car? Are you getting a hotel? Did you take a plane to get here? So, I mean, that's one game. And I think they forget about that for us fans. Softball, thankfully, it's a relative inexpensive ticket, but what does that say to what we should have in professional opportunities for softball, and what does that say for what needs to change? So I want to get to that in a second here, but to stay with your point, Jason, it always comes back on us, right? The millionaires, billionaires fight. Is the world any better for the minor leaguers, and are they caring about the three of us saying, let's take a road trip and go see a Yankee game? Those are the 2 points I really want to sit with that you were talking about here, because I brought it up on the show a lot. How are they helping the fan, and how are they helping the minor leaguer, or are they not?
It's a great question. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, the experience of the ballpark and the way they're building these ballparks, the experience is there for the fan. I think you're more on top of the game. You have more going on at the game. The stadiums are more beautiful. Obviously, they're millions and millions of dollars. But they black out games. They're in your region, so you can't see them. It's a lot to go. So, yeah, definitely, I think families are being hurt in those ways. And when that'll change, I don't know. It's just obviously you're paying somebody $40 million a year to play. You need to pay them and make money yourself. So you're going to raise the ticket prices. You're going to pay $11 for a drink. It's just when does it stop? In a way. So it's definitely hurting. I think the product and people going obviously to see it and to connect with that team locally for sure.
How do we help the minor leagues? How do we help the farm systems, the single A's, double A's, triple A's? Because not every place is created equal. And a lot of people don't understand the world of getting to the majors and getting to that $1 million contract, is that some of these guys are living in really bad neighborhoods, really bad apartments, not great living conditions, as well as not making much of anything. And unfortunately, it's hit home for me that I know people that had to hang it up. I know people that had to retire at 30, 31 years old that felt like they had a lot left in the tank, but they had a wife and a daughter and they couldn't afford to play anymore.
Yeah, baseball's tough. I mean, it's not. I mean, you come in and you got to really, rise through the ranks of multiple levels, and then every year they're drafting, they're signing 30, 40, 50, 60 more guys. They sort of challenge you along the way. So it really is, in a way, the best of the best make it over a period of time. But you definitely, for a lot of guys, and I've known a few guys, a few of my buddies who are career minor leaguers, it's a tough go. You're bouncing around from city to city. I've had guys who had to live with host families, just to be able to afford it in a way. The biggest thing is try to break that 40-man roster. So for every team, they have 40 players you can sort of call up and down throughout the minor league system, 25 on the active major league and 15 throughout the minors. So, try to break that 40 man is to try to get on there is very, very difficult in an organization that has thousands of players. So it's definitely a grind. And we have these conversations with our guys too, is, when's enough? Yeah. If you're 31, 32 and you've been doing this for 11, 12 years, but you love the game, and you're riding buses and you're not making enough to sort of help your family, like when is enough for you? So it's a tough decision for these guys. But on the other aspect of it, I mean, they were lucky enough to be part of that team as well, so they do get opportunities.
And John, for you, when we talk about, professional opportunities and different things that can happen, I know that there's the national side of it thing, right when we look at Olympic play or, country-wise teams, that I know players that played at Syracuse and then could go on and play for Team Canada and whatnot. But where is the world of professional softball, professional opportunities? Where can it be and where should it be? Because this is a continuation of a conversation I've had on Wake Up Call here about women's athletics. The WNBA is now at 12 teams. It's stuck around. The NWSL for the National Women's Soccer League, that has found life at 12 teams, but there was a time where there was concern over that. We've seen different iterations of women's professional lacrosse, and now we have Athletes Unlimited. there's 5 teams, and they have this unique thing where like each week they redraft and there's different teams put together. So where is professional softball? What opportunities are out there for somebody that isn't ready to hang it up in America?
There's very few
Yeah.
in professional softball. There's one league, I believe, may have 5 or 6 teams. I think we're a ways away from going into more of a professional rank. Alabama softball, for example, one of the top in the country, they have a beautiful facility, 3,200 seats, sold out for the year. Every ticket is sold out for that year. That's how popular it is down there. So there's always that potential, but you need to have some really financial backing to try to make it into a professional league. I always tell, going back to Marywood and going back to our teams, we always tell our student athletes that this is it. This is your 4 years to enjoy the sport. More so than even the guys, because the guys can play or some baseball leagues after they graduate. But softball, really, this is, you want to have it go somewhere where you're going to enjoy it, get the most out of it. It's a part of your college experience, but realize that after this, there really isn't anything. Maybe a beer league or something, a slow pitch league. But yeah, so we emphasize that just to enjoy it, get the most out of it. And when you look back at your college experience, you're not going to remember any scores, but you'll remember the lifelong friendships you made. Yeah. The young ladies that you play with are going to be in your wedding. They're going to be, come back for the reunion of the 2022 championship team. We'll have our reunion. Let's hope. But yeah, things like that. So at our level, that's how we look at it.
You brought up, obviously the team and the connection, recruiting. You said you're bringing in 11. What can you say about the incoming, and I know you're still well within the season and en route, God willing, to a national championship, but bringing in 11, what can you say about the makeup, where they're coming from, and what you're excited about as far as the message? Because if you weren't already bringing in this 11, I don't think it would be a hard sell to see the season that you've had, and the fact that you're still playing would have definitely helped and will help you beyond the incoming class of 11 players. So what can you say about recruiting for Marywood softball and essentially what the makeup of this team is by region and area?
I think the recruits that are coming in, I actually have one young lady coming in from Texas. She knew nothing about Marywood, but researched, and she wanted architecture, which is one of our big majors here. Wanted to play a D3 level softball, so this will be our first recruit from Texas. We have one student athlete coming from Ohio. I don't believe, in my time here, we haven't had a student athlete from Ohio, because basically we're New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. We have one coming from Maryland. We've had a few Marylands over the years. It's expanding. We have one commit from Illinois. Again, they find us. The ones that from that far away, because they're travel tournaments. When we go out recruiting, they're not coming down into Pennsylvania to play travel for the most case.
Yeah.
So they find us. They find us through again, the school itself, the major, and then they start researching, learn about our program.
Well, opportunities like this, they get to know you here.
Right, exactly. And as you said, how does this help recruiting, like the season we're having? Well, that'll help us down the road. Yeah. Like 2 years from now, even, because we get contacts from sophomores in high school, and of course the juniors, but even sophomores now, and they're going to see all this going on. And this year's team has 9 local student athletes on our roster. Next year's the recruiting class only has 1 local. We're bringing a lot of out of towners this time. It's just a cycle, if you will. But yeah, so it's a good mix of local talent plus the student athletes from out of town.
I love it. Illinois, Ohio, Texas. Let's build a national power here. Local, unlocal. I like it. I like what we're getting here. Jason, what can you say about the future in recruiting for baseball? I know we've talked about the management of the roster, 33 guys, around that number. So what can you say about what your pitch is and where they're coming from for the future?
Yeah, so we'll grow a little bit next year roster size-wise for sure. We have a pretty good size incoming class coming in, a lot of talent.
How many do you have?
15 right now.
15 coming in? Okay.
15 committed to coming in. We do have 2 or 3 local guys that we're excited about. We're big in the tri-state area as well. We have one commit from Connecticut, one from California. There's one from Florida trying to make a decision. So a couple transfers that I always get to know about us a little bit from other transfers. That always helps to fill in spots as well. So it's just about being, diverse in that way of your classes, not being too top heavy or bottom heavy. And we're getting to that point now where we're like that.
Yeah.
We have talent throughout the classes, which is, it's about building a program. And it takes a few years to do that. So that's where we're at. But yeah, we're really excited with the class coming in. We can't wait for the fall, obviously, to get started again. Obviously, we don't want to wish the season away. But, you start to, put wins together. You start to have people reach out to you. We've had a lot of parents of recruits reach out to us. We're following you guys. After wins in Florida, after wins, during the week, you're getting texts, you're getting emails from recruits' parents and family and from recruits. And it's nice. Today's day and age is a little bit different. They can do a lot more research.
Yeah.
Than when we went to school, it was, let me read the paper copy of what it is, or I had to drive there with my family. But now you could do searches, College Board. You could find out what school is best for you by major. It's a lot easier for kids these days to send. Over COVID, it was a lot of videos because you weren't able to see them in person. So it's been a lot of adapting, especially with today's, the kids. They're so good with the computer and doing research that they can narrow it down to sort of where they want to go. They can do virtual tours, virtual meetings online. So that's obviously helped as well in that whole process. But we're really excited about what we got going on and where we're going with things and the kind of program that we're establishing here. We want grinders. We want guys who are going to show up early, stay late, represent us well on and off the field. That's really big with what we're doing. And we always tell guys, if you don't leave here 4 years better than when you came in, that's our fault. That's on us. So it's not just a baseball thing. It's about a life thing. When you're here on campus, the Marywood baseball sweatshirt or hoodie or T-shirt, it should mean something to you. It should mean something the way that you treat people on campus here. So that's the kind of guy that we're looking for when it comes to recruits. Obviously, the talent speaks for itself, but it's not just that; it's the other things as well. And we've done that here. So that's one of the things I'm most proud of is the product that's leaving here and that's graduating, that's going on.
Well, the thing is, it's truth and transparency. If you're an honest person who recruits with your heart and your mind, but leads with your heart and is willing to tell them what it's going to be like, and if you have their major and what you have and how you do it and how you go about it and what the team looks like and what the chemistry is, what the makeup is, when you're honest, that means everything. And it's funny how in the broadcasting world, it's been over 18 years for me, one of the things I hear the most is, well, you're honest. We really appreciate your honesty. I'm like, wasn't that like a prerequisite to everything? But in coaching, your honesty. I'm talking to people in the portal right now, and that's what they said to me. Oh, Dan, yeah, these schools talk to me, but I know if they're lying to me. I know exactly by doing my research who's being honest with me. I had one kid, football guy from Central New York, from Utica. He got recruited from Arizona, Army, Air Force, Navy, San Diego State. All these D1 FBS programs. He's going D1 FCS because Holy Cross showed the most love, was the most honest. He knew the coaches that were lying to him. So he chose a school that some people go, how could you choose Holy Cross over in Arizona? Because to him, Holy Cross was there from the beginning. And his dad said it. He's like, Dan, we committed. They knew we were coming. We went on campus and they were talking to all these different recruits, and they could have literally just gone like, oh yeah, okay, well you're coming, so on to the next guy. He's like, Dan, coach sat with me like he sat with anybody else, knowing that my son's coming to this school. He took the time to sit with us instead of saying, okay, we already got this one, let's go talk to somebody else. They wanted to make sure that they were still being good to my son, even when they had his commitment. And so to me, like, that says so much about it. So I think when it comes to recruiting, for you both and with anybody, it speaks to your character, it speaks to who you are. Not only are you both successful this year, which speaks to what you've done, but to the reality of the fact that you're recruiting and bringing in big classes. That has to do with transparency and honesty. You wouldn't be winning right now if you were dishonest. You wouldn't be successful right now if you had a dysfunctional family, and you wouldn't have been able to recruit. So I think it's a testament to both of you that here at Marywood University, you lead with honesty, integrity, and transparency, because the world needs a lot more of that than it has right now.
That's one thing I know with Coach Butash. Like we talk a lot. We're on long plane rides to Florida together. back and forth. But we do talk a lot about recruiting, and we always ask each other where we're at and what's going on. And he's always been that guy that's been, hey, I told this recruit, this is where I see you, and this is how we see you, and he's very honest with his recruits, and I've taken a lot from that as well. So, it's really sitting down and just letting them know that the opportunity's there, but it's really up to them to the cream will rise. We get fall practices, we get so many days to see them when they come in to compete against college level hitting or pitching and see where they're at coming out of high school. So, it's not promising the world. It's saying, hey, we're going to play the best 9 guys. You'll have every opportunity to come in and play day one. It's basically just on you and your talent and where you're at, how much work you put in the off season. But just because our first baseman's coming back, or our shortstop is coming back, it doesn't mean, they're coming back, so they're going to play over you. I always tell anyone, we'll play 9 freshmen and 9 seniors. That doesn't matter to me. We're gonna play the best 9, and obviously who's doing the work on and off the field, that comes into play as well. So yeah, we've always been honest in that way, where the opportunity will always be there. You'll never be in a doghouse where you don't play well and you never play again. We always find guys opportunities to sort of either rise or other guys take opportunities from them.
Yeah, when we recruit student athletes, we don't guarantee them any playing time.
Yeah.
We guarantee them a spot, and then you'll have to earn any playing time. And as Jason, we talk often, and you get a student athlete coming in, let's say from a distance. The most important thing is honesty, and to say to them, you may not get on the field in your freshman year. If your heart is set on playing immediately, Marywood may not be the place for you. You need to understand that when you come here, you're gonna have to earn everything that you get. And if you're coming from 5 or 6 hours away by car, make sure you're making the right decision for you. Because again, we're only looking for the best decision for each of them. And of course, we want them to come to Marywood, but we also understand that if it's not the perfect situation, if they want to play softball, they want to start from day one, well then they should reconsider. And then again, we don't want to give them false promises about what the situation might be. The worst thing would be to have someone come in that you recruited, and then they don't see the field that first year, and you never talk to them about that previously. Then it doesn't look good. It's not a good look, and it's not what that's not what we're about here at Marywood.
Yeah, and that's why the transfer portal is so prevalent now. So in closing, you guys have talked a lot to one another, as you both stated. John, tell me something good about Jason.
Jason he loves the game. He is been here at Marywood for a long time. I mean, he went to school here. He works here. He has great communication skills with his team. I've been to more than a few baseball games. Go down there, and it looks like a strong team that works together. The student athletes in the dugout are cheering their hearts out for the ones on the field. They're all in it, like working together towards a common goal. I've never heard anyone say a negative thing about Jason, not to me anyway. No, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. He's a good guy who bleeds Marywood colors because like I said, he graduated here, and he has that background. Like I said, 3rd coach in the history of the program, which is amazing. Yeah. And it just goes to show the stability of the program, that they haven't had a lot of turnover in terms of coaches.
Well, big words and shoes to follow here, Jason. Tell me something good about John.
John's the best. We do talk a lot. We do see each other in the gyms, early in the morning, late at night when practices start. The one big thing I say about Coach is he's very flexible. He's very easygoing, very approachable. I think flexibility as a coach with other coaches is huge. So whether it's, hey coach, can I grab half the turf field, at 3 o'clock? Can I squeeze in here? Can we run a little late? You sort of need that flexibility or that openness from coaches, and it bleeds over to obviously his team. And I think in the way they play for him, the year he's having, you have to be close knit and sort of, I think love the family aspect of it. And obviously with him being here as long as he has around the school and the program and family going here and being so involved as Coach has that and been through so much here on campus, the ups and the downs, the goods and the bads. He's always remained steady. Nothing but good things to say about him from the community, also obviously from our guys. And it goes to show, I mean, he has built a great program, and hopefully this weekend he caps that off with a championship. We'll be obviously at IMAX, so I would mandate our guys to be there. obviously the cheer of the Mound. We always see the softball girls down at down the baseball field when they're not playing, cheering us on. I see Coach come by, so it's that support, that he encompasses as well. So it's good to see.
And, Coach says he'd mandate, but he wouldn't have to mandate. Marywood's a close community, and
True.
the athletes are close, and I know there'd be a bunch down
There would,
at
yeah,
the game.
absolutely.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it, and that's why I love coming back here, and that's what's special about it. So more life for Marywood softball and John Butash, more life for Marywood baseball and Jason Thiel, and of course, plenty more coming up in our Pacer Pride specials with administration, coaches, and student athletes. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is the proud, exclusive multimedia marketing partner, I'm so proud to say that, of my alma mater of Marywood University. I'm thankful for Executive Director of Athletics Pat Murphy joining us for Hour 1, John and Jason for joining us for Hour 2, and everyone who has been a guest here on Pacer Pride. Plenty more coming up, plenty more excitement to be had. Shout out for breaking the seal, Marywood women's tennis with Dana Sicati and her team winning the AEC championship, opening the door for these gentlemen to go and win a championship themselves. I look forward to talking with you all soon, and as always, guys, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it. Thank you.
We'll take a final step aside, and Wake Up Call will wrap things up from Marywood University right after this. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville beats. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have at any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also, I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was, selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York.
Cafe Cabal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafecabal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Cabal needs. Cafe Cabal, coffee for the soul.
This is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma&Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating. Find them at 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York, open Monday through Saturday in-store and all the time online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, you can order all throughout the country at maandpaspopcorn.com. And remember to get your tins, which have in-store half-price refills forever. Ma&Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory available to you for fundraising and all of your events by calling 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma&Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you? Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the fantastic digs of the Hall of Fame room here at Marywood University. I want to thank you for being a part of today's show. I want to thank my fantastic guests, Pat Murphy, Executive Director of Athletics at Marywood University, as well as John Butash with a fantastic season and plenty more to come with with the opportunity at winning a championship in the Atlantic East. They defeated the teams within their pod. They're the number one seed, so they not only will be playing against Cabrini for the best of 3 series, but it will be this weekend at Marywood University, so Marywood has the home field advantage. Big thanks to John Butash, the Marywood softball head coach, and more life here for Jason Thiel and the Marywood Pacers baseball team on a season where they are 1 win away from tying the best record ever for a season, 22 wins in baseball. It's having the most amount of wins, hopefully more than that. They have 3 games coming up with Immaculata, some work to be done for the postseason, and a current record that honors my grandfather and I, because my grandfather's just awesome, and so is God. 21-13, hoping that it's 24 or 25-13 before they head into the hopeful postseason. So a big thanks to Pat Murphy, John Butash, and Jason Thiel, my trio of guests in this Marywood University takeover. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is live for you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time on mixlr.com, facebook.com, and youtube.com, all /WakeUpCallDT. Of course, on WakeUpCallDT.com's homepage and on facebook.com /LiveNowDT as well. Once the shows go live, you can check our archive, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, Podbean, iHeartRadio, MixLR, YouTube, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, And Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora has 2 new logos to be added, as we have just been added to Amazon Music and Audible. So you could search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on any one of those venues, pick up our archives, or one word, search Wake Up Call DT for the archive as well. Thanks to our Central and Upstate New York partners, Cafe Kubal, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, Mon-FRI Kettle Corner Popcorn Factory, K9 Camp Dog Daycare, PB&J's Lunchbox, K9 Campground Dog Boarding, Avicoli's, Honda City of Liverpool, Pizza Man, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, Mother's Cupboard, Millhouse Market, Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, and of course, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is the proud multimedia marketing partner of your Lemoyne College Dolphins. It is Fins Up every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, where our Dolphins join us during Dolphin Time every first and third Wednesday with AD and DT, featuring Athletics Director Bob Beretta and myself, Dan Tortora. Every second and fourth Wednesday, the Dolphin Dive, featuring student athletes, future Dolphins, alumni, administration, and coaches joining for their stories inside of the Dolphin Dive every second and fourth Wednesday. All of that Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. So make sure Wednesdays at 9 you're here for Lemoyne Dolphin new content. And of course, you're with us all month long and all year long for the Lemoyne College Dolphins. And of course, a big shout out to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/WakeUpCallDT, with all of our content there for the Dolphins and more. Subscribe to us there. Go to the Lemoyne tab on WakeUpCallDT.com. And of course, for more information, go to LemoyneDolphins.com. The Bobcats of Bryant and Stratton. Happy to be here with you as well for Bobcat Buzz, which is the name of our specials that we bring to you every single month in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership. You could find out get all of our content on the BSC SYR tab on WakeUpCallDT.com, as well as by subscribing to YouTube.com/WakeUpCallDT. Click subscribe, and you'll see our library of Bryant and Stratton College of Syracuse content, including our exclusive conversation with Tay Baker upon receiving word that he will be the women's basketball head coach at Bryant and Stratton. Clay Gagan Sherman's exclusive from Mother's Cupboard that he became the head coach of men's basketball at Bryant and Stratton after serving as the women's basketball head coach. The exit interview exclusive at PB&J's Lunchbox with Dan Frisina, who started the basketball program at Bryant and Stratton College of Syracuse, as well as so much more with Nick Dimitrievsky, Alex Grigorita, Sean Peak, and plenty more coming up. Get more information on the Bobcats by going to syracuse.bscbobcats.com. And of course, in specials like today, Marywood University, my alma mater, it is Pacer pride for me every day of the year, all year long. The Marywood University Pacers took an opportunity to make my company their exclusive multimedia marketing partner, and I could not be more thankful, more blessed by God, more speechless, and more elated at the opportunity to bring you the stories like we did today, bringing you these specials from Marywood's campus, and of course, all throughout the year. Dana Ciccati, shout out to women's tennis, shout out to John Butash and all the success that he's had and continues to have for softball, who's got more life. Jason Thiel, who has more life with Marywood Baseball. Executive Director of Athletics, Pat Murphy. Rob Purowski, the Vice President here at Marywood for Enrollment Management and Student Services. President, Sister Mary Persico, IHM, and EDD. I want to thank Sister Mary for being a part of the show, and all the coaches and all of the student athletes that we have had. Marywood University Pacer Pride every Friday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time approximately, taking us into the weekend on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and doing specials like this. This isn't the first, it isn't the second, and it by far will not be the last time that we're here at Marywood University bringing you Pacer Pride all-out Marywood takeover. So thank you to Marywood University for all that they do. Thank you for being my alma mater, and thank you for the love. YouTube.com/WakeUpCallDT. Subscribe, and of course go to the Marywood tab on WakeUpCallDT.com for more information, including with all of the teams still fighting here in the spring and continuing on. Make sure you go to MarywoodPacers.com. With that being said, from inside of the Hall of Fame room, to all my Hall of Famers out there, all my listeners, all my viewers, all my readers, all my supporters, thank you so much for your support over the years. God bless to each and every single one of you. Thank you to Marywood University for the opportunity to go to school here. Thank you to Marywood University for everything we've done over the years. Thank you to Enrico Mastriani and Tara Machaco for asking me to be a keynote speaker for the first time in my life. Thank you to Marywood for making my company the exclusive multimedia marketing partner. Thank you to Marywood for letting me have my first show here that I got to do with MU Courtside. Thank you to Marywood University for being the amazing, and you hear it from all of them, it's about the people. So thank you for the amazing people that we have here, the amazing experience. We've just gotten started, Marywood, so God bless you all. I love you. Shout out to Cafe Kubal, our studio partner. I'll talk with you all soon. For now, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find us on Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, Twitter at Call DT, Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. And as always, God bless, no stress, do your best. We'll talk with you soon. Be safe and be well.